Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Dragonheir Silent God video. I'd like to thank Dragonheir for making this channel possible. And damn, today we're going to showcase one of the best epics in the game. It's actually going to carry you through, right the way through the seasons, honestly. Probably the number one. I'd say it's probably the number one epic you could pick up and have as a hard carry for your team. So we're going to be looking at none other than Darius. I'm actually on my free-to-play Season 1 account here. So I was lucky enough to pull him. I've not spent any money on this account yet. I might do the $1, lucky grab epic chest. But that's pretty much going to be all I'm going to do on this account all the way through the seasons, because I really want to show you guys how to play the game without just kind of like full wailing out. Now you can see here, the number one thing is that he is a tank. He's a frontliner, and therefore he is the most leveled hero that I've got. That's a really good rule of thumb to get into your head. Whoever's going to be soaking your damage should be the person that you take to higher levels first. And then you can see the rest of the supporting cast here are all sitting at level 90. Level 90 at the moment. So I've actually taken them like a couple of steps beyond what I've done with anybody else on purpose. Okay, so Darius, defense-based dude. He's actually a Radiance hero. So Season 1, he pairs up with Lightning dudes. I don't have a great supporting cast for him in Season 1. In Season 2, it actually flips and he becomes paired up with the Ice group. And Ice Blast becomes really strong in Season 2. So he actually elevates to a whole new level in Season 2 as well. So let's just quickly go through what is in his kit. He's got a passive skill here. So when taking damage, the hero's got a 50% chance to gain 1 stack of defense up. So you're increasing his defense by 2% permanently. And that can go up to 20 stacks. So you can get 40% more defense on this dude just through his passive. Very cool. Whenever he takes hits, obviously he's frontlining. He's taking hits all the time. On his battle skill here, and you'll notice I don't have him fully scrolled out. So he deals radiant damage based on his defense number. Obviously, his defense number is always going up with that passive, but also you want to build him with just as much defense as you can in terms of his kit. So it does radiant damage to the enemy with a 100% chance of knocking them up, which stops them casting their skills. Then grants hit recovery, which is restoring his health for the next 10 seconds. And then for his ultimate, full board width, taking on everyone, dispels all debuffs from the hero and heals all allies by 600% of his defense. So incredibly useful ult. He becomes a tank and a healer at this point. And so he's basically doing 2 jobs in one, which is so crucial when you're trying to build out useful teams. In terms of his gear, so I'm pretty decent way through now Season 1. I'm starting to get some legendary pieces. You can see what I'm doing is trying to stack HP and defense, even if it means that the pieces are not the best piece for this hero. So I'm actually using this kind of like knight set here. When the wearer's ultimate skill is fully recharged, they gain 30% damage bonus. That's a little bit irrelevant, I would say, honestly. So I'm not really getting any set benefits here at all. It's really just getting good gear. So high defense roll. Defense percent on the chest with some HP, and defense gloves. So as you go further on, obviously you want to go with tank sets. Makes more sense. But right now in this early state, I'm just building stats. And it's as much defense as I can get on him. We've got the rune here. It's got a bit of crit damage on it, but it's double roll defense. It's beautiful. I don't have another rune that I could slot. And then in terms of the artifacts, so I've just taken one that's given me HP and defense. So it says here, the wearer obtains 23% at the current level, extra defense when there are allies around them. Okay, so that's pretty much all the time with my team setup. So just more defense. Now, if I had a legendary artifact, probably if I had 2, honestly, because the first one would not be this one. But weirdly, I have to go into Mythic. I think they changed this. I go into Mythic if I want legendary nowadays. It's like they've mistitled these, or I've got some sort of bug in my system. But anyway, the first one you would always pick up would be the Witch's Remain. And this is a top tier artifact that you want in your team. So your first legendary dupe that you would get this, which is putting a defense penalty on enemies. But if you've got a second one and you've got Darius here, then this is almost like an exclusive for him. Turns him into a legendary. So as you level it up, he basically gets percentage of overheal from the wearer becomes a shield. And his ultimate is doing that big heal. So he basically becomes a massive tank with a massive shield. It just makes him absolutely bonkers. So Gatekeeper's Staff is the way to go. I'd also say I don't have the best heroes to pair alongside him on this account right now. So let's just call out a couple that you should be looking out for in the different factions, certainly for Season 1. Yeah, so the best ones, you want to be looking at these kind of like Dauntless Epics from the Lightning faction here. So Shagroll is one that would be really good, basically launching a bunch of lightning damage. You've got Skeletor as well as kind of like a good option for a damage dealer. And then you've also got Nimbus, who is pretty damn sweet as well. So I don't have any of those. So we're going to go with a team that just makes sense for my account right now. And I guess we'll show them off in a bit of content. So let's jump first into the grave of Venom. This is going to be a really good place for him to come in and tank up that front line. So I'm hitting stage 9 right now on my free-to-play account. And you'll see here, so what have I got? I don't have the full kind of like affinity bonuses going. I've got a 3 elemental affinity because, as I say, I don't have the right heroes to pair with him. But we've got Furbath, just a super solid tank as well. So we've got double tank up front. We've got Felicity for me. I kind of like set up really with some fire damage going on. We've got Adolphus as a shield champion. So Adolphus is shielding. Garrus is healing. Furbath is healing. They're both tanking as well. And then I've got Eric here in the back with basically my damage. And he's got my best kind of like damage set going with some damage coming from Felicity as well. So 2 damage dealers, 1 support, 2 tanks, and away we go. So I've done separate guides where I talk about, you know, the different elements you want to be bringing into this fight. You can see the amount of damage we're taking. And already Garrus is looking pretty low. He gets some shielding off. He's going to get his ult off and like that massive, massive heal on his ult. Whew, that was actually a bit hairy at the start there. So you can see basically what I'm doing is we're trying to pulverize the side ads and get them down. It's a bit of a slowish fight, honestly, but I've got shields from Adolphus keeping us alive. I've got a bit of healing from Furbath, and I've also got healing from Garrus going on. The attack penalty on the boss is super important, but we're not landing it as much as I'd like. And that will come from Furbath and this team. Oh, we really need some healing. Oh, my Lord. The damage is coming in so thick and fast. It's actually insane. Oh, massive heal. And we're still in the game. Wow. Really, really tough fight at this sort of stage. I could do with a couple more of these dudes really picking up the levels at this point. But, you know, you can see without a perfect comp, it's doing a ton of work, this setup. So, again, big heal before the ult comes off from the boss. Really important to get that timing down. And we're kind of going slow and steady, taking down the side ads and taking down the boss. If you look at the meters here, pretty even, honestly, between my 2 damage dealers, just kind of like popping out hits. But look at this healing. So my tank is doing considerably more than my support, as well as tanking up so much damage. Look at that. Just tanking up an absolute ton of damage. And that's why he's so good, because basically he's doing the equivalent of 2 rolls. Is he going to get his ult off in time? There it is. Timed to perfection. And damn, you know, this is tough. Like stage 9 and above, it starts to get really, really hard until I've got everyone fully leveled out. And yeah, I guess we'll let this play through until it's done. Again, just need that hit recovery coming in. Beautiful. Little top-up heals. And then big heal, literally chunking his whole health bar back up. Well, let's play through, and then we can jump onto some other content. So there we go. I mean, just phenomenal work, honestly. Phenomenal work from Garrus there. And incredibly difficult to do that without him. He's just doing so much in that team comp. What's cool as well, I'll show you the rest of the build shortly, but you know, things like the Heretical Ruins as well. I think, can we go another level? Probably not. I think we're probably going to stick with level 4, stage 4 here. Oh, the bosses are so sweet in this game. Look at the visual. So sweet. So I think we could probably use the same squad here. And again, Garrus just kind of like tanking that main portion of damage. Furbath within range just to make sure that we heal each other. And then we've got our damage dealers obviously pumping the damage on the enemies. In fact, this is super easy. Maybe I can go another level on this one. But yeah, I think where you can use the same team in multiple bits of content obviously just makes it really, really helpful in terms of, you know, reducing the number of heroes you need to build out. Eventually, though, you will have to just build out more heroes for, you know, a bunch of the different Pillar of Trials, that type of stuff. So, you know, over time throughout the season, you're going to have to build up a wider roster. I wonder if we can just push to next stage here. That was particularly easy, so perhaps we were just ready. Yeah, even this feels good. Just such a good tank. It's absolutely obscene how much he's tanking up. Big old hits coming in. And obviously any of the sets that you can put on him as you like develop through the game, where you're able to just give him more defensive stats, damage reduction, but making sure that you keep his defense level really high, it just makes him pretty unkillable. It's basically a legendary at this point with the amount of work that he does. So look, if you get him, great. If you don't get him and you can afford the dollar chest, I would say he's worthy of the cause. Really, really useful. And as I say, it becomes even better when you get him in Season 2 and you're able to start to pair him with Ice Blast heroes, because at that point, the team becomes beastly. So really, really cool hero. So yeah, don't forget, if you enjoy the content, sub to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.